Talk a bit about the sensation of flying of the Sport 4 and the Sport competition. The sensation is very similar between both gliders. With the Sport 4 competition, the brake pressure is slightly lighter, but the turn coordination and handling feels very, very similar. Both gliders have this tendency to stay directly over your head with very little pitching, and it also means that you don't need to use your brakes so much when the glider is entering thermals or exiting thermals. Because the glider pitches less, it just tends to go smoothly into the thermal and smoothly out again without very much surging. This helps to make the glider easier to fly and also gives you better performance with less effort from the pilot. One problem that pilots often have, especially when changing from older gliders onto the newer gliders, is that the newer gliders perform better when you use less brake. With the older gliders, you often had to fly with a lot of deep brake to get a very good sink rate or turn tightly in thermals. But a modern glider has very good performance quite close to trim speed. So when you're thermaling, try to use very little brake. Just use maybe only 5 centimeters of brake on the outside wing and 10 centimeters of brake on the inside wing. Just a tiny amount of brake, and try to keep the amount of braking to the minimum. That way you're climbing better. So when we did the certification tests, the safety of the Sport 4 was really quite amazing. The asymmetrics, even 70–80%, the glider turns just 45 degrees, and the pitching is really quite low. The full stall as well is very easy with very low pitch recovery. The glider is only pitching around 30 degrees when you release a full stall. B-lines, first of all, the first thing you notice when you do a B-line stall is the pressure in the wing, because it really takes a lot of weight to pull the B-lines to get the glider to fold in the middle and brake, so you can feel the stability and the pressure in the wing. Then in the B-line stall, the glider is very stable, and on release there's no deep stall phase at all. It just immediately jumps back into flying. Big ears slowly recover on their own, so if you want to do big ears, you have to maintain the big ears in with the big ears risers. The full front collapse is very fast in and very fast out, really no problems at all. The spiral dive is, you can really choose the descent rate you wish. So you can, as you enter the spiral, you can feel the wing wanting to turn you back out again into a straight line. But if you insist and really insist on the inside, you can increase the spiral and you can get over 14 meters a second quite easily. But as soon as you release, the glider smoothly comes out. It doesn't come out super fast, because that gives you a big surge, and afterwards you can get a collapse. So it's just smoothly coming out in around 1/360. So then you don't have that strong surge and collapse afterwards, which can be quite difficult to manage for intermediate pilots. So we're really very proud of the Sport 4, and the Sport 4 competition as well is just refining something which was already a great product. It's very easy to fly, but the performance is astounding. Really is accessible and easy to get very good performance. So this means it's a wing that the occasional pilot can fly, even if you're only flying once every weekend, 2 or 3 weekends a year, you can fly with the Sport 4. But the performance is good enough that you can make real competition and real cross-country flying on this wing.